courses for today. As I said, they are related to risk. So, and you know what is risk? Any uncertainty which can cause the project objectives. If you guys might remember something, what are the project objectives? What are they? Scope, time, cost,
STC, scope, time, cost, quality.
quality. These are the project objectives. Okay, and constraints are our STC, QR. These are our constraints. Great. So let's start with our strategy. Or if you might have forgotten, just on a very fast pace, I can give you a small review that what it contains. If you remember, when we talk about risk, the first thing we discuss is actually risk management plan. The most important task we do is what we try to find out the stakeholder appetite to know that they are averse, means limited to non risk taking capacity, neutral only when there is a positive risk correction opportunity, seekers who will take the risk to pursue their objectives. So they will go for the risk in an aggressive way. Plus, we will also define the category of low, medium, high. We will also define the reporting formats. Reporting formats like how the risk register will be, how the risk report will be sent. We will also identify here the frequency and categorization frequency of the meetings which we will be doing, what we are discussing, and the guidelines required to complete the risk management. Once risk management plan is established, then the second thing what we do is risk register. And to prepare the risk register, we use our prompt list. If you guys remember, prompt list like PESTLE, PESTLE, or we use RBS, risk breakdown structure, and so many techniques to identify the risk. Once the risks are identified, what we do, we perform the qualitative risk analysis to categorize them as low, medium, and high, where we try to find out the proximity, the data quality assessment related to the urgency, and about the appropriateness of the data. When all the risks are classified, and if still the uncertainty exists, then we perform quantitative risk analysis, which is optional, which contains that out of all those risks, which can cause the project objective, so you can target more. And if you remember, we use Monte Carlo's software for that. We use decision tree for that. We use a tornado diagram, the sensitivity analysis for that. And we also use our 3-point estimation for that purpose. So once qualitative is done, and if required, quantitative was also done, then we prepare the responses. So responses were in 2 categories, right? Negatives, what we call them threats, and positives, what we call them opportunities. So in both contexts, if you cannot do it, what you do? You escalate to the appropriate level. In threats, we try to avoid it. You don't want to take the risk. In opportunities, we exploit it. We make sure that we take that risk, because if it occurs, it can bring the positive impact on our project objectives. If you cannot avoid it, we try to mitigate. And mitigate means we try to reduce the impact of the risk. If we are discussing the opportunity, so what we do, we enhance it, make sure we do it, and we normally do at the time of planning. The other one is transfer for the negative risk, transfer the ownership of the risk to a third party, normally the insurance. and by paying some premium. And for the positive, we had share, which means we will share the ratios. If we cannot do it, then we have to accept it. And acceptance are of two types, if you remember: passive and active. Active means you are acknowledging and you're allocating contingency reserve. Passive says, I know, but I'm not going to look at it. So any actions which we will do will be funded by the management reserves. And those actions will be called as work arounds. Once responses are prepared by risk owner, then they will be given to risk action owner to implement it. He will implement the response. If it doesn't work, he will implement the contingency response. If nothing works, he will implement the fallback plan. If nothing is working, he will report to PM, I tried everything, whatever in the possible capacity. Now the risk is going to convert it into issue. You can handle it from here. And this circle will continue throughout the project. We will have review or monitor risk. We will keep checking, and review contains in two parts: past, what has happened; future, what is going to happen. So in each review meeting, we discuss the past and the future. And based upon those things, we update our risk management plan so we can make the things in a better way. So that was a very, very brief topic about project risk management. Now, based upon that, let's start doing our questions which are related to risk. And as usual, you will answer the things on chat window so everyone can get the chance of answering the questions. Okay, so let's read the question. After a project delay, the project manager determines that a change is needed to the deliverable in order to ensure quality. The PM takes the following steps: issue a formal change request, communicate the change to all stakeholders, receive feedback that the communications approach did not meet stakeholders' expectations. What should the project manager do next? Read the points and find the correct answer, then we'll discuss it. Yes, half is correct because it contains both. Usman, it is only one part, while there is another answer which contains both sides. Usama, yes. Usman, yes. Nebu, yes. Great. Yes, sir, Usman. Very good. So, Mohsen, no. Why you will do that? Why you are going to sponsor for something? Look, if you look at it, and I always say, please read from the first to last word of the question and answer. So refer to the communication management plan. If you read it, you might feel it that he's saying something right, but there's no discussion about it. Because of that, this answer is wrong. Ensures stakeholders' expectations are included in the project management plan by issuing a change request. Stakeholder expectations in the project management plan, for sure you have already done it. Hold a meeting with the sponsor. Why? There's no discussion for the sponsor in the question. Review the communication management and stakeholder engagement plan to see if the processes were followed. Because why always say that, guys, please don't go for the direct action. Always try to focus with the answer review. An update to one or both plans might be warranted. Means they need to be updated, but you cannot update it directly, right? First you will review it, then you will communicate to the sponsors and the required stakeholders, then you can update it. But direct update is not required. So yes, all of you were good with the answer D. These type of questions actually will take a lot of energy as well as a lot of concentrations. So as I use highlighters and the pens, you can also use this in your exam also. That will help you a lot to eliminate the wrong choices. Great. Let's go to the next question. And as a result of multiple regulatory changes, a governmental agency is added as key stakeholder. Project manager wants to develop an understanding of this new stakeholder and identify any high level risk that may result from the change. What should the project manager do? Before I start explaining, find your answers and then we'll discuss. Yes, Mr. Thomas, great. Sayyid Usman, yes, good. Mayu, yes, good. Naved, yes, very nice. Sama, yes, good. So majority of you are correct. If you look at it, if I start reading from down, check with the sponsor. Why you always going to the sponsor directly? Not possible. I don't know what is written. I will not read further. I found my word. That's it. It's wrong. Consult a change management plan. It's about adding. It's about adding the change. And next step in the change. No. Appoint an existing team member to lead compliance strategy. Stakeholder engagement is 100% responsibility of project manager. You will not put on your team member. Review the stakeholder engagement plan and verify the strategy before meeting with the new stakeholders so you can collect what regulatory requirement and how to do. So yes, A was the better answer among these answers. Because before you are going to meet someone, if you guys remember when we prepare our first process, which is what? Plan scope management, right? And before that, there is something called the output is what? Requirements management plan. How the requirements will be collected, documented, and managed throughout the project. So based upon that, this answer choose its best opinion. Great. Let's go next. Security classified agile software project requires outside expertise and delivery to add a module based on machine learning. An approved supplier asks the PM to join the daily meeting with the supplier's agile team. But the project manager is too full with internal meetings. How could the two teams synchronize interactively, but somewhat less frequently? And those who have done agile with me and good learning, yes, they can answer it. No, Thomas. This is another thing. It's nearby. Osama, let me read it. You guys missed one part. What is happening? A security classified agile software project required outside expertise and delivery to add a module based on machine learning. So that is what one part. An approved supplier, another external one. Ask the PM to join the daily meeting with the supplier. Supplier's agile team. Look, you have your team, okay, and supplier have his team. So they also have their project manager in agile. They also have their project manager in agile. So when there are two scrum masters, what we do? Fishbowl window is team is working internally and people can see from outside. That is called as fishbowl window, Osama. So people can keep looking at each other how they are working, and if something is needed, we can ask them. That is called as fishbowl window. So if you guys have understood the situation, you can answer it easily. When you have two scrum masters, how you manage those two scrum masters so they can collaborate together. We have scaling option. If you guys remember, we call it SOS, right? A scrum of scrum. So it means there is a scrum of a scrum for them. He's communicating to him and he's communicating to him. And this guy is providing the point of contact. So that was available on our scaling slide, which we discussed on the last day of our training. And I think with all of the batches I discussed also on the last day. So scrum of scrums, you can scale it. So this scrum of scrum will actually let you talk to two scrum masters. So answer is B. Share a common electronic Kanban. This could be a better option, but problem is in Kanban you can only look at the progress. Here the progress is not the concern. Here the progress is they want to know what are challenges, what is happening, what is right with them, what is wrong with them. Negotiation is required. Align iterations, no. Internal external team will not work together. Set up fishbowl window at each site. If they say set up fishbowl window for both, so again, two teams cannot work together. So yes, B was the better answer. Next, the latest software build did not include urgent change request already implemented by the team. Product owner informed the team about the change during a daily meeting, but no one recorded it. What should you as a project manager do to avoid this problem in the future? Product owner asked them to do something, they didn't do it, they missed it. How can you prevent it as project manager? And if you remember the basics of agile, you can easily select an answer. Look, this, this, this is the task of who? These are the task of same guy. And who's that guy? Product owner. Okay. So backlog is the task of product owner. And question is about project manager, who is actually the team lead, right? What we call it, project manager, team lead, coach, scrum master. These all are the words for project manager. So A and B are gone, remaining C and D. And what is the task of project manager in Agile? Facilitation. And which answer is representing facilitation here? Thank you, Swan. Say to Swan. Finally, you got it. Usman, no. Thomas, yes. This word can never be the right answer of any right question. Always remember privately. What does that mean privately? It could be individually one to one, but privately remind the team lead. You are the team lead boss. You are the team lead. You will remind yourself privately. So it's not going to happen. As I said, who are you? Project manager, team lead, coach, scrum master. They are your words. So you will remind yourself privately? No. So yes, remaining answer was C. Great. Next, a smart grid project combines predictive and agile, which means hybrid. The agile team detected a defect after its release and began on correction. But the defective release was deployed, and this caused a field test to fail. Which measure would be most effective to prevent similar problems in the future? Something has happened, now you have to do something. So it shouldn't happen again. Now we need to have preventive actions. The topic is error, right? The topic is error, error. Error, guys, error. Navid, this is the same thing you will be doing, right? Why you will do the same thing? They are asking preventive action, not the corrective action. A is corrective action, not preventive action. So why I have to share the retrospects with the predictive team? This is what? Corrective action. Question is about preventive action. You will never do the suicide, right? It's just suicide. And with whose permission you will do this? Why you always select an answer with direct actions? When the risk occurred, effects are what? Issues, right? I keep telling you guys that answer is 100% in the question. Defects means issues, and answer of issue is already in the B.
Sir, what is the meaning of retrospective?
Retrospect, there's lesson learned. What we do after every iteration. That what
Yeah.
went wrong, what we should stop doing it, what
Okay.
was good, we should continue
Preventive
doing.
action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So retrospect is for the corrective actions and preventive actions. But here the discussion about preventive actions for the issues. So if you update via instant messaging or any portal, so at least you can set them. But please do not implement it, it has an error. If the answer is what? Corrective action, then what could be the right answer? If the question was about corrective actions. Run the same test in the agile lab and in the field sites. Huh? Same test, which means you will do a wrong test, right?
Option C.
This will happen after the iteration, while the defect has just now came in the performance. So answer is not here for the corrective action. What could be the answer for the corrective action? You can, because something has happened, right? You need to fix it. Yes or not? Something has happened. You need to fix it. Issues and risk, they are two different things. Risk which has not happened, issues which has happened. So lesson learned can be shared with the predictive team next time, that if something is wrong, you have to wait for our call until we run the test. Something like this. That could be a corrective action. Now let's go for the pure agile, pure risk, right? Let's see how the things move on. Team at planning stage, PM realizes that producing a complex multifunctional application is not feasible with the current number of resources and decided to hire more resources. You know the action. The project manager identifies and contract temporary resources. Which risk response strategy you have used? No, so small. How come? You have insufficient resources. So you are hiring more resources. Exactly, Thomas. Naveed, no. Mohsen, yes. Syed Usman, yes. Mayo, yes. You are trying to mitigate. Very good. Transfer means insurance. Accept means doing nothing. Avoid means doing nothing. Changing the plans. So plan was not changed and something was done. So accept cannot be the answer. Great.
Sir, what is transfer, sir? What is transfer?
Transfer is transfer the ownership of the risk to a third party, which is insurance.
Yeah.
Buying premium by paying some premium.
Yeah. Okay.
Next, a project is started with an approved scope. As the team implements the design, a team member states that the product will not meet the requirements in certain situations. Correcting the issue increases both scope and cost, and the project will also miss the deadline. The project sponsors do not have additional funding to support the project. What should the project manager do first? Exactly, Usman and Usman. Oh, sorry, Humayun and Usman. Thomas, yes, good. Yes, we will perform the risk management analysis before taking any action to find out how much risk is involved. Question was not about a schedule, so she is not related. Contact the customer, so you will bypass the sponsor. Is it possible? Sponsor will throw you out directly. Follow the change control before applying the change. You have to check the impact analysis. So yes, A was the correct answer, which majority of you have already given. Let's go to the next option. A project is being planned in a remote area with limited access to vehicles. Additionally, the road to the site goes through a protected area, and the government has required the company to sign a contract that they will protect the environment and road from damage. PM decides the best way to manage the risk is to deliver all heavy equipments themselves, despite a significant added expense. What type of risk response you are doing? TM decides the best way to manage the risk is to deliver all heavy equipments themselves. Themselves. Mhm. We have taken the action, okay? So once we have taken the action, it means they cannot be the right answer. These are the meanings that accept and avoid means no actions, okay? Accept and avoid means no actions. And there is no insurance. Come on, guys, there is no insurance involved. Have you seen any insurance here? Did you hire a third party here? You didn't hire a third party, you didn't have insurance, so this cannot be the right answer. The meaning answer is mitigate.
But here it is mentioning delivery all heavy equipment themselves. But that means in addition to, despite the significant added expense, means they will be charging for the additional heavy equipments, right? This is the meaning here. So
Where are the charges?
yeah,
Where is the money involved? So despite the significant added expense.
yeah, your money is involved, right? So despite the significant added
But,
expense.
but look, what is the situation? Money is not the problem. Problem is what?
Action goes through a protected area. Okay. Road from damage. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Next, a PM works for a company that is preparing to develop a new product. The new product will require skills that are not currently available. To initiate this project, what should the PM do? Problem is what skills, right? When it is about a skill, so quality cannot be the answer. There is no word for the competitor in the question. So remaining A and C. The required skill is not available. How can you make the detail requirement? Not available, boss. Not available. And something is not available. How can you make the detail? Document it as a risk in the project charter.
Sir,
A
but
little
here,
yeah.
yeah. Sir, but here it is showing the required skill is not available currently. So, for example, if they're constructing a building, they need a civil engineer, and for example, some mechanical things has to be done, constructing industry. So there is no mechanical skill here, considering an example.
Okay.
So he can develop a project during the project. He needs a mechanical. This will be the project manager agenda, right, sir? Skill is not available, so the requirement we need is the mechanical engineer, which is not available.
Initiate means what I told you. What is initiate?
Initiate is
high level.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
High level things are always available in
project.
You guys keep forgetting.
Initiate high level. Okay. Okay.
Always focus on the keyword, guys. These keywords will give you the victory very easily. If you will go and search and hunt, not at all you can find the answer easily. Then you will make the wild guesses. But if you know the words, high level thing is when you read the word initiate means high level. High level things are documented in the charter.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Great. Let's go next. Project is being implemented. R&D communicates to the project manager that the requirements have changed. These changes were not anticipated. May means risk, right? Significantly influence potential sales numbers and it could impact good risk project scope. Which actions should the project manager take? Review the risk management plan to identify the risk responses. Do we write risk responses in risk management plan? Do we? Anyone can answer it on chat or mic. Risk management plan never contains risk responses. Plan to use contingency reserves and update the risk mitigation plan. Revisit the charter. We are not an initiating, so sorry. Whenever we have a new change, what we have to do, evaluate. But let's read till last. Evaluate the impact to cost, stakeholder quality, and risk using the integrated. Yeah, this is the best way, right? Follow the change control procedure. So D was the correct answer. Look, the research and development department communicate that the product requirements have changed, which means this cannot be done now, right? Can it be done now? You are in executing, and this is what? Planning. So you have already crossed that stage. And this is what? Monitoring and controlling. So D was the correct answer. And now you guys are going to see a question of the century. I hope you are able to solve it. I will not even speak about it. Solve by yourself. If you answered correct, I will think that I have taught you well. If not, then you did not understand well. I taught you well. Samai, yes. Another yes. Hafiz, yes, good. One is the lowest and 5 is the highest. I don't know what is written. I don't care even. And we have the formula EMV is equals to P multiplied by I. So 5 ones are 5, 4 fours are 16, then 5 twos are 10, and then 4. So at least I know the last answer will be D. So this and this cannot be the right answer. And first answer should be B. So after 16, we need to have C. So BCAD. Those who did not know, did you guys understand? You should have understood now, right? You should have understood. That's how we calculate the risk quotient if it comes in exam like this. Great. So yes, all those who answered, they were correct. Thank you. Let's go next. Prior to preparing a monthly project status report, team brings 3 risks to the project manager's attention. PM wants to reference before presenting as a new information. Where can the project manager look to evaluate this risk? And answer is to evaluate the risk in when it is about risk, issues cannot be the answer, right? Because it has not converted. Where can the project manager look to evaluate these risks? Project manager. Osama, yes. Munawar, no. Someone has also answered. I didn't see that. Sayyid Usman, yes. Usman Tariq, no. In risk, look, if someone is saying about the risk, where you find the risk? Simple thing, in the risk register. You will go and check that do they exist in the risk register or not. If they don't exist in the risk register, I'm saying if this option is not here, then the answer could be, where can project manager look? Then the answer could be C. Look to treat. How? Because when the how means management plan. That's what I have taught you, right? If you find the word how, it means you have to reference a document called management plan. Great. Let's go next. Although the sponsor and the project team say that the new project has an adequate budget and realistic schedule, but you worries that unplanned events could threaten the project success. What should the project manager do first? I think Naveed, yes, good. Sayyid Usman, yes. Sama, yes. Munawar, no. Thomas, yes. Hafiz, no. Usman Tariq, yes. Okay. This is totally irrelevant answer. So B is gone. Munir, yes, very good. Thank you. And remaining is A, C, and D. This is what you are saying, what accept, right? Accept a strategy. You don't accept first. Now remaining is A and C. When the assessment is not done, how can you check the impact? So this is step 1 and this is step 2. So they are asking what? First. So first is what? A. I hope you guys got the explanation in the same way as I have done it on the screen. Great. Let's go next. A company wants to reduce by using a subsidy. They have not yet applied for the subsidy. Before the project starts, PM is describing project risk. Which statement best describe the risk if the application is not successful? Which statement best describe the risk to the project if the application is not successful. Subsidy means you will reduce it, right? Reduce the cost, or you will get a share from someone in the cost. So if you don't get that share, yes, Hafiz, yes, Naveed, yes, Usama. This is the answer. If you don't get that share in the cost, then this is not even our question. We are not funding fully for the project. We are not discussing a scope. Total cost of the project will increase, like 50 million by government, 50 million by us. So I am thinking that I will pay 50, but if it doesn't get it, so it means I will pay 100, which means increased total cost. Next. The sponsor requires a team composed of resources that live in 4 different time zones in different locations. The sponsor did not consider the challenges created by this requirement and believes that the dispersion will provide an ideal team that will save cost, which means he was thinking that virtual team is better for doing the things. Where should the project manager document this in the charter? Four locations, 4 time zones. It's for sure not related to requirements. Believes is the answer. If you can translate believes in something, this is the answer. What you believe means assumptions, and assumptions means, come on, now I gave you the answer. You believe that when you will ask her that marry me, she will say yes, but this is your assumption. She can say no also. So you are making an assumption. An assumption is what? Risk. Assumption is always what? If assumptions are not proven correct, they may go to impact the project objectives. So yes, that was the risk. It's not about a stakeholder. It's not about, they are not saying that something is with the resource. They are saying that we are using virtual team to save the cost. But eventually you will increase the number of hours if it doesn't happen. So let's go next. A PM implemented an approved change to manage a risk. 3 months after, PM learns that change did not produce the desired results. Wow. Instead, producing negative consequences. You implemented the response of primary risk and you got an issue, not in secondary risk. How the project manager can avoid this? Update the PI metrics after assessing. Revisit. Update lesson learned register. Or update the list on the risk register with the risk. Sama, there is a better version of it. All of you who are answering this, there is a better version of that. If I remove that option, yes, it could be the right answer. But we have another one. Look, they are not anything and they belongs to OPA, right? And to prevent anything, we have to refer what? OPA. So among C and D, which one you think is more precise and more better answer? Those who have given that answer and I said it is not correct answer, so remaining answer is only one, which is update the list on the risk register with the risk. Because risk register contains what? For sure lesson learn register, but it will be updated there. So this is first step, this is second step. So it's better to go with the first step. So you will update the updated risk register in the lesson learn register. So D was the better answer than C. If D is not there, then yes, C is the answer. If I remove D, then yes, C is the right answer. Next, and I think let's take it as a last because too big also. You guys read it and answer it, then I will check that your answer is correct or not. Take your time. So Sadma, Usman Tariq, yes. Mayuna. What is the question about? Let's read it. During a conversation with a friend, a PM hears that union action may occur within the next 2 weeks. Hears. The PM knows that at this stage, any delay could cause a harm, and any union action will affect the team. Earlier, the probability of this action was minimum. Thus, it was unanticipated. Also, the PM has worked successfully in the past with the union. This is a positive thing. How should the project manager respond to this issue? Get more information through informal discussion channels and use that information on next steps. Update the risk in the risk register. You will never update the risk register directly without taking actions. Plan to reward those who do not. If I read it simply, it's not going to be the right answer anyway. Schedule a meeting with the union's leader and use personal influence to attempt to resolve the problem because they are asking about issue. So remaining answer is A or D. What do you think is better answer? Usman, I have a problem with you. I should discuss with you or I should go to your friend and discuss with your friend first?
Sir, with me, you have to discuss, sir.
right? When I have a
Yeah.
problem with you, I should discuss with you that I heard about you like this. You will not go to my friend that I heard him now is saying like this. This is the bad thing. If you want to solve a problem, speak face to face. So the correct answer is, and look, next will never be the right answer, right? I told you. So yes, D is the right answer. Next will never be the. You need to solve the issue, not next. Great. So I think let's keep it here. We have almost reached to an end of the time.